Hi everyone! Isang maagham na araw sa ating lahat. Welcome to our unapologetic take on anything science, technology, and innovation from within and beyond in the hopes of amplifying the underrated narratives of our Filipino innovators. I am Josh Puyugaw, ang inyong comms and innovation yapping tito next door from Taguig. Mula dito sa DOST TAPI and its iInvent studio, kami ay pasyensya na. This is the third episode of the new podcast of iInvent where we put our very own innovators on the spotlight. Dahil dito sa amin, lahat ay posible. Katulad nga po ng nabanggit ni Jem and ni Kring during the previous episodes, muling sasali ang Pilipinas sa 50th International Exhibition of Inventions in Geneva. Doon po sa Switzerland, the world's largest event devoted exclusively to inventions. And to talk more about our inventions here in the Philippines, I am very much excited to introduce to you one of our innovators. May I call on Ms. Mabelin T. Kahologan, a geologist and of course the officer in charge of the Geology and Geophysics R&D Division at the DOST Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology or DOST PHIVOLCS. She leads the Geomatics and Hazard Assessment Service, focusing on hazard mapping, risk assessment, and geospatial analysis, including GeoRisk, PH, and PlantSmart. Of course, she holds a degree from the ANU and UP Diliman and advocates for geospatial technologies to enhance disaster resilience in the Philippines. Welcome po, ma'am. Good afternoon po, ma'am Mabi. Please have a seat po. So, I would like to ask you po, ma'am, no, how was your day naman po? Kumusta naman?
Okay naman po.
So, yeah.
It was our first time actually to have this kind of photo shoot
Mm-hmm.
with my team.
Yeah, together with your team, no? So, for our viewers, no, kasama po natin si Miss Mabi and together with her team, we had a photo shoot for our delegates who is coming to Geneva, no? So, this is not the first time, no, na we have met each other. So, we already had a few talks together po during our photo shoot and we are very much excited to explore more topics during our podcast, our Pasyensya na podcast. And without further ado po, no, I would like to ask, no, just to have a little bit of formal question. Kumusta naman po kayo today and kumusta naman po nung nalaman nyo na ang possible participation ng DOST PHIVOLCS po sa exhibition in Geneva?
Well, the Hazard Hunter PH and the first ever patented technology in PHIVOLCS, ay Hazard Hunter PH. Kaya it was a surprise. It was our first to participate in this kind of event. And I heard na it's the 50th Jubilee.
The Jubilee year of
innovation. So we hope to be able to contribute, no, and really be able to represent the Philippines well.
Agree, because it's a good thing now we are seeing innovations in, of course, geosciences and representing our country to the international stage. So, even though I'm just a host here in our podcast, it makes me really proud being a Filipino. Now, there is innovation that is being represented abroad and to other countries, no. And of course, no, I would like to know, kasi since origin story naman, we want to know the origin story. How did your team start innovating geosciences? In terms of Hazard Hunter PH or Geoanalytics PH, what pushed you to pursue these innovations?
Well, in PHIVOLCS, it has always been a vision of the then Director Solidum, now Secretary Solidum, to really simplify and make things faster in terms of hazard and risk assessment. So, as we know, PHIVOLCS really looks at effects of volcanic eruptions and earthquakes. So we did mature already the system in our own sphere. We do have hazard assessment service where people go to PHIVOLCS and then they request for hazard assessment reports. So ang binibigay lang namin ay hazard assessment with respect to earthquakes and volcanic eruption. So since the 1990s, ginagawa na po yan. Especially for LAHAR, hazards assessment sa
We
may
already
mga
have
pinatuwi
na po,
area.
yeah.
So, existing na yung ganong sistema, yung ganong methods ng hazards
Assessment.
analysis, hazards assessment. Ngayon, nakita na kailangan hindi lang nakafocus tayo sa earthquake and volcanic hazards, pero yung comprehensive kabuuan, kasama na yung other agencies. Kasi before Hazard Hunter PH, what people do would be to go to different government agencies. So, pupunta pa sila sa Pag-asa para kukuha ng mga information about storm surge and other hydromet hazards. Pupunta pa sa MGB, Mines and Geosciences Bureau, and then sa PHIVOLCS to get this. So, as early as 2016, we developed together with the Japan agency, also a government agency in Japan, to develop the fault finder. So, meron na nagna-develop na application. It's called Fault Finder. So,
yung parang yung super finder? Baby na...
yung Fault Finder, yung naghanap ng mali. Yung geologically speaking, yung active faults are earthquake generators or earthquake sources. So, what the application does is to locate the nearest known active fault in an area. So, magdo-double-click ka lang and then you'll be able to identify the nearest known active fault. Now, fast forward in 2018, we had this training with other middle managers, from NAMRIA, OCD, MGB, Pag-asa, and PHIVOLCS.
Yeah.
And so we realized that we need to bolster the collaboration. Yun nga yung lagi natin inuulit. It's really collaboration to be able to come up with a good innovation.
Everyone is looped in.
Everyone is looped in. But just to let you know also, back in 2005, 2004, I think, bago pa ako pumasok ng PHIVOLCS, meron ng ganun nag-exist na collaboration, but it's focused on generating the hazard maps.
Okay.
And then going to the different LGUs to distribute the static hazard maps. Paper-based maps. So, noong 2017, nag-usap-usap ulit yung mga ahensyang iyon na nag-generate ng mga hazard maps to develop a centralized database. So, doon nag-start yung database. Yun yung na-create yung GeoRISK database system. And then, from there, we have to prove the essence or the beauty of having all those information in one space. So, we developed the Hazard Hunter PH, the Geoanalytics PH, and in just a few clicks, magkakaroon sila ng hazard assessment report. And so not only focused on PHIVOLCS information, but also Pag-asa and also MGB. So yun po yung start
and the current
Hazard Hunter PH and Geoanalytics PH. And then sunod-sunod na yung ibang agencies sumali na rin. The Department of Education, if you will use Hazard Hunter, you will see their schools, location of schools, and then DOH as well for the health facilities, and then DPWH for lifelines. So, lalong lumalaki po yung collaborations. And it's really true. Innovations should really include more people, more minds.
Because what I appreciate actually is that kapag nagsama-sama na, di ba, everyone is in the loop. So now, our decisions, everyday decisions, most especially to our policymakers, they already tap the network na lahat sila po nandito na. So the idea is that it's more comprehensive. Hindi na siya confusing, wala tayong na-miss na component ng ating community. So I think that's the beauty of transforming from the analog to the digital space. And then everyone has access na basically to computers and of course phones. And then at the top of their fingertip, they can access the information that they need. So thank you very much for such a wonderful initiative ng DOST PHIVOLCS. Now, I would like to ask naman if there's a personal instance sa inyo, Ms. Mabi, na you have thought of na parang, okay, I really need Hazard Hunter in my decision making in finding a place to stay or looking for a home. Maybe do you have that instance po?
Actually, Hazard Hunter PH was designed to make things easier for me at first. So when I told the team to develop the said system, I have my own needs in place.
Doon naman yung nag-a-arise,
yeah,
di ba?
the
A practical
prototype.
need.
Yeah. So when people ask us, and in FIVOLs, no, related sa work, na parang saan yung faults, saan yung active faults, and ano yung hazard assessment dito, and kahit saan, di ba? Laging tinatanong yan. Pero hindi naman namin lagi dala yung mga mapa.
Yes,
so,
exactly.
Ganon. So,
Before the digital transformation, di ba? Sobrang physical ng maps.
Oo. And then sa hazard assessment service also. So we need to go to the computers and then do the assessments, and then yung manual na pupunta dun yung mga tao magsasubmit ng mga papeles, and then even the workers in FIVOLs do need to go to the office. No? So nung na-create yan, iniisip ko noon na kailangan meron tayong tool to be able to locate, no, specifically yung place. Kasi hindi naman lahat map savvy. Kahit ako naman, hindi ko expert. So, kaya pinalagyan po namin doon nung Google search.
Yung integration na po, no? The integration.
Yung location search. And then, some people also know the longitude, latitude. So, kaya meron dong longitude, latitude para
for the coordinates.
Sa design, sa coordinates. And then, there's also yung mismong mapa para i-locate na nila. Or, if we use our GPS or sa laptop, sa cellphones natin, makaka-locate agad siya. So, yung ganon, yung
the convenience, sobrang
yung
convenient.
Apat na paraan ng pag-locate ng area mo ay madaling magawa sa Hazard Hunter. At yun ay na-develop kasi nga, nahihirapan din ako personally kung saan ako with respect to the hazards in my area. So we presented that to our office mates, no, to management sa FIVOLs, and then they were go. But of course, ang back-end talaga nun ay data standardization. So actually, nung create tong Hazard Hunter, marami na nangyari sa behind the scene. Like, we need to digitalize the information. We need to apply data standards. No, we need to create the database system para maging seamless yung paggamit ng mga information sa different applications. So, for example, Hazard Hunter is one application. GeoAnalytics is another application that also utilizes the data that has been or that have been standardized already. So, ang dami niyang natumbok na challenges, including data governance.
I think that's really wonderful because when you created these products, meron ka na talagang target audience who is going to use these technologies. And what I take away ko rin sa sinabi ni Ms. Mavi, no, that innovation is sparked from a need of from a practical situation. So I think that's the beauty of the innovations, no. Beyond GeoAnalytics PH and Hazard Hunter PH, doon po talaga at the core, at the heart of the inventors is to innovate and make life easier. That's so beautiful. So
I also want to share, no, na the database system was developed in 2018, and then 2019 we launched the Hazard Hunter PH and the GeoAnalytics PH later that year. And then 2020 came the pandemic.
Okay, how did that?
So you see, diba, how the innovations came first before the pandemic. Kasi we can't imagine how life would have been without the system in place. Because at that time when the pandemic came, Hazard Hunter already existed. So what we did was integrate that into our internal system, the Hazard Hunter PH mismo. And so the hazard assessment service of FIVOLs, which has been there since time immemorial, the 1990s pa, was also made online. So naging online siya, naging online platform. So now, even our stakeholders, kahit pandemic, kahit hindi sila pumunta ng FIVOLs, they can access
and generate
the hazard assessment reports. The hazard assessment reports because the system is already in place. So online po lahat yun. So kumbaga, nag-pave ng way, no, to have this kind of online system in our service. So, yun.
So, tuloy-tuloy pa rin po talaga ang pag-provide ng FEVOX ng service
Even
during the
pandemic.
Ang galing. So it's not really, it all worked out, no? It was able to rise up to the situation, even though it's the pandemic, no? The DOST FEVOX rise up sa situation.
Yeah,
So that's
timing was really just so perfect, and it's really
perfect.
God's grace for us to be able to deliver our services.
Ang galing. So thank you so much for that, Miss Mabi. Napakagandang story, or like the origin story of Hazard Hunter PH and GeoAnalytics PH. So thank you so much for that, no? So I think the best time na po to go to our segment is, of course, meron po kami tinatawag na segment o sa aming pagsasaliksik, no? So we did a basic Google search and meron po kaming prompts na ipapakita po sa inyo, no? For this segment, ito rin yung tinatawag nating, it's also called, no? So those who are familiar, yung answering the web's most common searches. So alright, are you ready, ma'am, for this segment, no? Ito yung search bar natin. This one. So this one po siya, ma'am. So FEVOX. So you can just stare away the white portions one by one as we go through them. Okay. So the question is, FEVOX is responsible for monitoring typhoons. So what can you say about that, ma'am? No? Are you the one really monitoring typhoons?
No.
Okay. So the basic answer is no. Okay. So however, can you put an insight, ma'am, on what FEVOX actually monitors?
So FEVOX monitors earthquakes and volcanic eruptions as well, or volcanic activities.
And then I got one thing, yung sa hydrometeorological monitoring. How does that interface sa system po ni Hazard Hunter and ni FEVOX in general?
So ngayon, we still don't have early monitoring for hydromet hazards, but the results of those monitoring and impact assessment on lahar. For FEVOX. But of course, yung floods and rain-induced landslides are being monitored or are under the mandate of Pag-asa and MGB.
And then a good thing, no? Ang information ni Pag-asa and MGB is already integrated, no po, and streamlined with the system.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's really nice. So FEVOX po, no, is not for monitoring typhoons, no? But for geological hazards. Okay, for question number 2, sige, go ahead po, ma'am. There you go. FEVOX is important. Why? Okay. Can you shed light to that, Ms. Mavi? So the basic answer is yes.
I work there. Yes, FEVOX is important because it is the sole government agency that is mandated to study hazards related to earthquakes and volcanic eruptions, including tsunami and other geotectonic hazards. So not just that, but we also do monitor yung mga earthquake occurrences and activities of volcanoes.
Okay, so as you can see, there's definitely an importance to the role of DOST FEVOX, no? So very helpful yung information that they give to the community or to the people. All right, sige, for our last questions, Ms. Mavi, go ahead.
What to do?
Oh, okay. We have one more pa pala.
Isa pa pala.
So FEVOX, what to do during an earthquake, no? So how can we be prepared before, during, or after an earthquake?
Before an earthquake, use Hazard Hunter. Use Hazard Hunter to know if your areas or your workplace is prone to earthquakes, but not just earthquakes, also other natural hazards. And then during an earthquake, you need to do the duck, cover, and hold. Definitely. So, yun po yung tandaan po natin,
it's a commandment na talaga, ma'am, during earthquake.
Of course, before pala the earthquake, you have to ensure that your house or your buildings are structurally sound to withstand earthquakes, of specific magnitude. So, kailangan po, we have to prepare for those and mitigate the effects of earthquakes. So yun, during an earthquake, duck, cover, and hold. And then, kapag nag-stop po yung sobrang malakas na pag-shake ng lupa, proceed to an open area calmly. No, wag kayong
Don't
magpanic.
panic. Yeah.
Don't panic. And then after that, you have to check again if your buildings or your yung area of residence or residence nyo ay may mga cracks and all.
For
So
the
you need to
integrity.
ask an engineer if it's okay na to go back to your houses. And then after, so syempre, you need to again prepare.
Prepare for.
So depende yan. So I'm talking to individuals, no, yung preparation, but for sectors or for the government, mas malaki yung responsibility because they need to rehabilitate.
Yes.
No, and to build really big structures to
bigger and stronger
structures to mitigate, no, the effects of natural hazards, including earthquakes, of course.
Thank you so much. So please take note, no, on what are you supposed to do before, during, and after an earthquake. All right. So for the last question, Miss Mavi, do the honors. Oh.
Ganito pala ito. FIVOLS. Kumbaga may nagtatanong.
Apo. FIVOLS West Valley Fault. All right. Okay. So maybe you can shed light, Miss Mavi. Kumusta na po ba ang ating West Valley Fault right now?
So the West Valley Fault actually is part of a segment of the Valley Fault system. So the Valley Fault system has two segments. One of the segments is the West Valley Fault, which transects Bulacan, no, Rizal, Quezon City, Pasig City, Taguig, Makati, Marikina pa pala, and then Muntinlupa, Cavite, and as well as part of Laguna. So, approximately, it's 100 kilometer long. And if it moves, it can generate a magnitude 7.2 earthquake.
Really
so, yeah, all the sectors are preparing for the possible movement of the West Valley Fault system.
So, however, Miss Mavi, people need not to be afraid if they're prepared, right?
Yeah.
So, so hindi naman po dapat tayo matakot. Basta po maging handa lang po tayo for any eventuality. And how are you supposed to be ready? By using Hazard Hunter PH and GeoAnalytics PH. That's one. And
Taguig City pala is also
a part of that.
This DOST.
Alright, so I think yan po yung ating mga segments, no, sa ating sa aming pagsasaliksik na aming segment. So thank you so much for that, Miss Mavi. Now, I think I would like to, of course, get to know a little bit more of information, no? So how is it easy? Is it easy or difficult to take a career in geology here in the Philippines? Growing up, how did you take an appreciation to this field of study? So ano yung inyong appreciation?
As a child, I really wanted to be a medical doctor. But I went to UP Diliman, and so I got into geology, BS Geology, and because I still wanted to be a part of the science community, so I want to be under the College of Science. And then when I graduated, I thought, I will not pursue geology anymore because you go and walk and
and experience new horizons. No, once you're out.
Yeah, but when I went to FIVOLS, I got to appreciate geology. Late bloomer, no? Because
what really sparked, ma'am? What sparked inside of you?
Geology.
Okay. I loved it. Yeah.
I'll stay in geology.
What's your reason for staying? Or like,
well, as what I mentioned, when I worked in FIVOLS, I got to appreciate geology more, because I had a first-hand experience of how geology helps people. Like
yung impact to their lives,
the impact to the people, to the community. Like when we study, like for example, I did join the active fault mapping group. So kaya I know West Valley Fault kasi nilakad namin yan. The West Valley Fault and other active faults. And then I also just shifted a bit, no, to hazards assessment, to mas frontline na as service oriented na siya. So when you see your work being used, I mean the results of your work being used, it motivates you to improve and to do more.
Yeah, wow. Yeah.
Diba? And that's also public service. So kaya ang ganda lang ng interaction nung science because I belong to the R&D group. So I do research and development. So in that sphere, we can explore. Like for example, this Hazard Hunter, diba? So we can explore, we can be creative, we can be innovative without having to fear kung magfe-fail or not. So if it fails, then it's okay.
Move on to the next.
Yeah, move on.
To the next
So
innovation.
that's R&D and that's science. And so that's really, I love science and technology kasi sobrang laki ng opportunity to grow and to improve and to help. So in PHIVOLCS, we have the opportunity to share our knowledge. So yung very hard science like yung mga active faults, diba? And then, you see in the field, yung mga hazards na sinasabi namin dyan sa Hazard Hunter. Ground rupture, bumuka talaga yung, nagkaroon talaga ng ground rupture, no? Or fissuring, or yung liquefaction na sinasabi namin. Nagkaroon ng parang volcano, ang tawag ng mga tao, parang volcano daw. But it's just the ground spewing the sand. Kaya nagkakaroon ka ng mga sand dunes. So yung mga ganon. And then, fast forward, digitalization naman, di ba? So, ang galing lang ng,
nag-evolve
siya. So, even in planning, after we had the fault finder, then the Hazard Hunter, then the geoanalytics, now we also have the Plan Smart. Di ba? And then, we have a project now under the GATES program of DOST. It's a DOST GIA funded project again. And we will AI-fy, AI naman, we will AI-fy Hazard Hunter. So that's the vision, AI-fication of the GRISC PH. The platform will be able to tell, sabihin, which building? Parang interactive na siya, na Hazard Hunter. And then sasabihin niya, Tapi! Kung meron tayo sa database. Okay, Tapi. Tapos biglang sasabihin niya, Tapi is so and so kilometers from yung West Valley Fault na dyan lang sa katapi natin.
Nasa neighborhood lang po natin.
So yan. Tapos, ano yung gagawin mo? And not only that, but also really bolster the collaboration with Pag-asa.
Yes.
So, pwede ka nang magtanong sa GRISC or sa platform ng so, what's the weather today? So, what will I wear? Parang mga ganun. So, it's really more of insight.
And the practical use. Practical use.
What will I wear?
Exciting.
Should I bring an umbrella or something like that?
And then, yung natuwa talaga ako dun, ma'am, no? When you're doing the field, nakita nyo talaga, no? From the digital rendition in the Hazard Hunter and Geoanalytics PH and seeing it in the field na, wow, napakalaki pala ng fault, no? I think what appreciation I got there is the physicality of your R&D. When you see it on the field, when you can see it, when you can touch it, and you can see how it affects people's lives, I think that's also what motivates you, to innovate.
And also there are different researchers, many researchers in PHIVOLCS. So, like for me, for example, I was once a part of that group, na nagmamapa nung mga active faults. So, they're still there, and they're innovating in their own sphere, no? They're innovating also mapping of active faults and other earthquake generators. So, nag-AI na rin sila doon. So, all the information that they generate for hazards information are transmitted or shared into the GRISC or the Hazard Hunter PH platform and the Geoanalytics PH. So, imagine the richness, tama ba?
Yeah, correct.
The robustness of the system. And it's, we can assure, that the data have been peer-reviewed. So, yun yung importante doon.
Factual, correct, and real-time.
And accountable.
Yes.
Because the data being used in Hazard Hunter and geoanalytics are from mandated government agencies kasi. So,
reliable.
Oo. At so may accountability.
Yes. That's so beautiful po, ma'am. So another is that being the officer in charge of the Geology and Geophysics R&D division at DOST PHIVOLCS. In layman's term, could you explain what your division, what does your division do, and how are you as their leader?
Okay, so under the Geology and Geophysics R&D division, we have 3 sections. So, ang unang section ay earthquake, geology, we call it earthquake section. So it maps and it does research on earthquakes. No?
And anything earthquake.
Anything earthquake. So R&D. And then volcanoes naman. For some volcanic hazards, an eruptive history of a volcano, for example. So yun yung pangalawang section. And then the third section is the geomatics and hazards assessment section, where georisk belongs. So kumbaga, itong dalawang section na earthquake and volcano sections, they produce the hazards data. And then the geomatics or the georisk section thinks of ways to communicate.
Right.
To digitalize, to make the systems efficient, so that the information generated from these 2 sections will be transferred to the communities, to our stakeholders.
Basically, they're the funnel, no? So earthquake, volcano,
and then
yung ating geomatics, and then to the people.
Yeah. So, marami ng platforms dyan under.
And then, as their leader, how do you steer the direction of your units or your division?
So, I am still, I'm just an officer in charge. So, I'm still the head of the geomatics and hazard assessment service section. But right now, the division is actually composed of really talented people. And when you have really intelligent and talented people,
it makes the work easier and
as well as
more fun, di ba?
More fun and challenging as well. You know, people have their own minds.
Yes.
So yun lang. They are independent sections, but we come together, for example, and we meet as seniors. So we gather as senior staff in the division and then talk about, things that really matter for the section. And, and from there we get suggestions on how to improve the systems.
And then the directions.
And then the direction as well is really digitalization in the division. Digitalization. And so databases are being produced or created by the different units, and then visualization also, and the use of GIS, geospatial technology, and
it's a core talaga, ma'am, core component talaga ang GIS, no?
Yes, sa amin, and remote sensing. So we're also delving into 3D visualization and virtual reality.
So with topography na po yun, ma'am, no?
Yeah. So, ganun, parang modernization, in alignment, dun sa modernization din ng PHIVOLCS. So those things, and even risk assessments, we're doing that. So, artificial intelligence, machine learning.
Machine learning. So, very, meron na po tayong inaantay ng mga exciting sa exciting part ng ating
we have a lot
innovation.
Of projects actually under the division. Parang kami ata yung division sa PHIVOLCS na masipag
prolific na ng project. Because dun talaga, ma'am, yun talaga yung nagda-drive sa innovation,
kasi we need resources because we have the ideas. So we need those ideas funded.
And have a physicality na, ma'am. So that's the direction that we are going at. And then, siguro, just a few more questions dito sa ating segment, no? Kung i-describe nyo po ang life nyo right now, kumusta ang intensity level? Are you at the highs or like, medyo kalmado po ba ang ating
sa work?
sa life in general?
Siguro at this point,
Ano pong scale? What scale are we right now?
siguro intensity 5.
Intensity 5.
You know, you can feel the shaking. And after that, you need to evacuate. Or 6. Intensity 6.
Seek a safer zone.
And anyway, because I'm also doing a lot of stuff outside. outside
Personal
yeah.
stuff. So intensity 5, very interesting, no? So if you are going to compare, no, kasi there's an idea that volcanoes are these very harmful natural hazards, no? But there is still beauty to these land masses, no? If you're going to compare yourself to a volcano, what volcano or what kind of volcano are you, ma'am? This beautiful, maybe Mayon, Taal? Or
Siguro. Calm. I think I'm not that eruptive. So
siguro as beautiful as the peak of Mayon, maybe.
Maybe.
So very kasi usually when you hear of volcanoes, these are very harmful. Ang impression natin ay nakakatakot. But in fact, these are very beautiful creations, no, of our creator. So thank you so much po, ma'am, no. So all right, no. So for this segment, no, mga kasiyensya, I hope you have learned a thing or two from Miss Mabby, and maybe because there's more to unpack for today's episode, no. So alam naman natin na ang Pilipinas is of course disaster prone, partly because of our countries within the typhoon belt and the Pacific Ring of Fire. Ngayon, meron ba kayong dine-develop na innovations ngayon na hindi pa widely known sa public? So, meron po ba kayong behind the ma'am? Na, although, it's not okay to disclose yet, or like may something's cooking up in your R&D, R&D...
Yeah, I already mentioned the AIification of GeoRisk PH platforms, including Hazard Hunter, and geoanalytics. So that's what we are brewing.
Watch out, guys. Watch out.
Yeah, that's. I think the general public will appreciate that. But for the government sector, for example, we are partnering with DSUD and DepEd to develop the Plan Smart for sustainable human settlement and Plan Smart for safe schools, respectively, for the two departments.
Okay.
So, ang una, yung sa Plan Smart with DSUD would be for land use planning, comprehensive land use planning. And then for the safe schools, for contingency planning. So, you see, planning is really important to prepare for.
Kasi basically, the technologies that you'll be developing can help them guide or like make them have faster decisions or like mas ma-deploy ng mas mabilis and respond should there be an instance of a natural disaster that might occur. Okay, so thank you so much for that, ma'am, no? So mag-move naman tayo sa ating next session or ang session po natin, no? So for the Sabi Nila segment, we are going to talk about different takes and common beliefs in science and technology and innovation. So you can share your own take by raising either yes or no. So I'll be having questions, ma'am, and then mag-aano lang po kayo kung do you agree or do you not agree by raising the placard. So okay. All right.
Yes.
So okay.
Opo,
yes, just raise one. Okay. So let's start with the first question. Sabi nila, disasters are natural and we are powerless to stop them. Sige, go ahead, ma'am. No. Okay. So can you share like a little bit of reasoning why you said no?
Because disasters can be prevented if we are prepared. No. For example, the Philippines is really prone to a lot of natural hazards because of our geographic location. So what we need to do is really adapt to those natural hazards already. So for example, anong ibig sabihin nun? For example, if you know that there is an active fault in your area and the recommendation against active fault is at least 5 meters from the edge of an active fault, then you don't build your house within that buffer zone or on top an active fault, the house or the critical facilities. But that can be developed into something like a playground, for example, or those low-use facilities. So a lot can be prevented if we are conscious, no, of where to put our buildings or our houses.
So basically, we are not powerless.
We are not powerless.
All right, thank you so much. Very empowering words po, ma'am, no? So, next question. Sabi nila, there are fault lines in the Philippines that could create catastrophic damages during the big one. Yes. Okay. So, yes, there are fault lines. Can you share a bit of insight? Ms.
Yeah,
Mary?
the big ones, big one, ganon, was actually popularized by media for the West Valley Fault event, the magnitude 7.2 possible earthquake here. But there can be other big ones because large magnitude earthquakes can also be generated by active faults throughout the country. Like, for example, the Philippine Fault transects areas from Luzon to Mindanao. And we have the
entire
stretch of the Philippines. And not just the hindi lang Philippine Fault yung active fault, but there are really several active faults. If you want to know, go to Hazard Hunter, and yeah, you will get an idea where these faults are, because they are represented as red lines, no, along the map, no, and as well as some are potentially active faults which are represented by black lines. And we also have trenches. So sa West Philippines, we have the Manila Trench, we have the Sulu Trench, the Cotabato Trench, the Negros Trench, and then the east part, we have the East Luzon Trough and the Philippine Trench. And so, diba, we are so rich.
And napakadaming activity in that area. Hindi lang po siya just the big one. There are big ones.
We need to prepare for earthquakes in general.
Thank you so much for that, no, Miss Mabi. And then, okay, another question is that, sabi nila, people can totally rely on the government for disaster risk reduction and management efforts. Totally rely on the government. Totally.
I think yes.
Okay, yes.
But they should also work for self-sufficiency in their own households. For example, yung families nila, and even personally, they have to be ready, prepared, and not totally depend lang on the government.
So the personal accountability must still be in you. Okay, thank you so much for that. So that's a call to action to all of our viewers, no, to be self-sufficient and be self-reliant, no. Even though the government help is there, no, we have to be prepared ourselves. Okay, next question is that, sabi nila, no, resilience is the most abused and overused term to describe what Filipinos survive during calamities. Yes or no? Resilience is the most overused term.
Wait, me, I don't know.
So yes or no? So what's the thought behind?
Yeah, resilience kasi is defined as the ability to bounce back, no, after an event or a calamity. So I think some or most of us, no, can easily bounce back naman. As to abuse, I don't know what's the context.
Parang overrated term that Filipinos are resilient.
Yeah, I think. Wow. Ano yung context ng resilience na?
Like at the point of even though may bagyo, the peoples are like the Filipino will rise up again. They're very resilient.
Oh, that's good.
That's a good. It's a good.
Pero siguro
the sensationalization of the resilience term.
Siguro, I think if that's the case, na parang wala lang, okay, may bagyo na naman, or yung parang indifferent na lang siya, I think that should not be the case, because we should be proactive, no, in really preparing against the effects of those natural hazards. For example, the effects of typhoons, for example. So, hindi lang siya na, ay, Pilipino naman ako.
Babangon ako ulit.
Babangon ako ulit. Or ay, sanay na ako dyan eh. So, baha lang ng baha. Sige, okay lang. Magpatay na lang ako dyan ng bahay kahit alam ko na may mga... Kasi, ano naman, since mga lola ko, na-experience na. So, di ba? So, sana, we need to aim to better our lives or to improve our lives.
Especially when the help is already there, di ba? The guidance is already
Information is really all around. And just use the right information, wag yung mga fake news.
Oh, yes. Get it on reliable sources such as the USDP Vox.
Yep.
Okay. Siguro another sabi nila question, no? So sabi nila there are no lucrative careers for geologists in the Philippines, and even if they are employed, they are not well compensated. Yes or no, ma'am?
I think no.
No.
Personally, I think it really boils down to your personal standards, siguro. I don't know. But in government, for example, geologists are compensated and
there's support.
Yeah,
there is support.
And sa petroleum industry, some go to the mining companies, and they are well compensated. So I don't know. I actually think na it really depends on the person. Kung ano yung standard of living.
And how do you position your career as a geologist? No? So definitely there are opportunities.
Yeah, there are opportunities. So if you want to go to mining, then go to mining companies. And if you want to do public service, then go to PBOX.
Join the team of Miss Mabi, no?
Yeah.
All right. Lovely answer. So, guys, there's career in geology. There's a career in geology.
Join us.
Join PBOX. Okay, so there is a question here, no? Some infrastructures are built near fault lines, no? So, can you share with us cost-effective ways to minimize damages or ensure safety if a strong earthquake occur?
So, una, iwasan ang pagtayo ng buildings or
sa fault lines
na nasa taas or nasa ibabaw ng active fault or within at least 5 meters from the edge of the deformation zone of active faults. And, you can develop those areas transected by active faults by building low-use facilities. So, low-use facilities would mean parking areas, for example,
the materials, perhaps the materials that they need to use in their...
Kasi at the moment, if you're talking about ground rupture caused by movement along active faults, there's no engineering intervention yet developed for ground rupture hazard. But if you're talking about ground shaking, the materials used to construct buildings should be according to standards and use the provisions stipulated in the building code of the Philippines. So, yan po yung so that's ground shaking.
Not ground rupture, guys.
Ground rupture, there's
so,
not
to clarify,
yet. So, really prevent, really avoid ang pag sa ground rupture.
By following the 5-meter radius.
At least 5-meter buffer zone.
All right. Thank you so much, ma'am. No? And then, all right. So, with all of these yeses and nos, we have come to our hottest question. Hottest question talaga. How does PBOX communicate complex scientific data on hazards, disasters, and risk to the general public without causing anxiety? So, how do you deliver news, ma'am, para po hindi matatakot yung mga tao?
So, in PBOX, we have a division really focused on developing science communications or information that can really cater to different stakeholders of PBOX. So, nagpo-post ng factual information sa social media, for example, and that's one. We just state the facts based on our observations, based on records. It's also the same when we go to the field during an actual event. Like, for example, merong earthquake. Natatakot yung mga tao. We are there specifically to do IECs and to allay the fears. Yun naman kasi yung namin eh. We allay the fears of the people. And we just tell them na it's natural, the fault is just readjusting kung may mga aftershocks, di ba? Kasi may main shock, tapos mag-readjust siya. So that's why we have aftershocks. Pero huwag kayong mag-alala kasi pababa naman yung measurement. Or kapag aftershocks yan, bumababa talaga yan. Up to the point na yung active fault ay mag-stabilize again. So, yung ganong tipo na parang hindi sila mag-panic na, ay, ano mangyayari? Bubuka ba yung lupa? So, hindi siya bubuka. Kung ground rupture yung pinag-uusapan natin, hindi siya bubuka. Mag-slide past each other lang siya. So, kumbaga ito, gaganon lang siya. Hindi siya gaganon.
Yeah.
Yun. So, ganun yung explanation. And of course, yung mga development ng mga innovations, innovative tools like the Hazard Hunter, di ba? So, we give them factual information, comprehensive reports na very straightforward.
No need to sugarcoat or like...
No, yeah, no need to sugarcoat. And ngayon din, we are aiming to translate then yung mga technical terms like English to Tagalog.
Yes.
Yon, Filipino, and may mga yung mga vernaculars then ng different regions in the country.
So basically po, no, these communication strategies cater to the people para mas marami ang maka-appreciate ng information. Tama naman po.
Yes. Na to the point na kaya siyang maintindihan ng bata. Kahit kinder or prep, di ba? That's a challenge.
Because these are also the people who are like in the schools, in high-use facilities basically. Di ba? So they have to also understand yung mga terminologies, yung mga bulletins that PHIVOLCS also releases. So amazing, no? So there's definitely challenge, pero may mga solutions po tayong naiisip sa PHIVOLCS.
Yeah. And if there are people or organizations, even the academe, no? If they have ideas na makakatulong para maayos or mas ma-improve pa yung communication, then we are very much open to welcome those ideas and incorporate them in our systems and processes.
That's really beautiful, ma'am. No?
Yeah.
It's a matter of knowledge sharing.
Yeah.
Really.
Again, collaboration.
Collaboration talaga is very important. That's really, really nice. Okay, so I have a few more questions here, ma'am. No? So what are the challenges that you encountered in the development of Hazard Hunter and geoanalytics? This become a hindrance in the development, and how did you overcome these challenges?
Well, top of my mind, siguro yung resistance to change, because when you develop a new technology or a new system, you will defy or you will break the norm.
Yes.
So imagine there were fears also, people saying na kapag na automate ang mga bagay-bagay processes, then they will lose their job, or their importance in the organization. So I think that's one. Resistance to change.
Resistance to change. Wow.
And then number 2, or resistance, or ano ba?
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it in a better way.
But like, how did you overcome this resistance? Did you like
them? Just give them the tool, and then just prove what you say. Na this can actually make things efficient. And so when pandemic came, then it spoke for itself.
It works, di ba?
The system, it's not just for the public, but even in internal systems, it can be utilized, and it can actually make our lives, easier. So again, another would be yung data sharing also from other agencies. So not just in PHIVOLCS kasi, it's also
the layers of approval and paperwork.
Yeah. So when you do risk assessment, you really have to to collect a lot of data, and this data will be coming from different agencies. So, yun lang siguro yung sustainability. At least siguro sa generation namin, for the first pass, it was easy to just get the data and for them to share the data, because there is trust among us, and we know each other. I mean, personally, we are friends, ganon. We know each other. Pero, think about siguro 5 years or 10 years from now, nawala na, for example, yung...
Nag-transition na yung staffing.
So, siguro yon yung sustainability talaga. Kasi little by little, there are new people. And then, so we really need to improve the data governance and even the data protocol and data sharing mechanism among different agencies. And then number 3, siguro the engagement of the local government units in the not just the use, no, kasi they are the main targets then, especially for geoanalytics, to use the system. Pero siguro in building the exposure database, Kasi those exposure database can be utilized for hazard hunter and geoanalytics. So, siguro yung gano'n.
May apprehension din minsan, ma'am, no, to use the system by these LGUs. But showing them that it works, diba?
Yes. And siguro din yung sustainability ng mga resources.
Yes, resources yun talaga. Yeah.
Because yun nga, even if we have users, like for example, LGUs are really excited to utilize the system. Pero nga, kung halimbawa yung mga servers ay bumabagsak dahil sa sobrang dami ng results or yun, down yung servers and all. So, that can pose a big challenge. Kasi mawawala din yung trust ng users.
I see.
Diba? So, we need to think of ways. Siguro yun nga yung sinasabi ko. Parang how can we sustain it? So,
the sustainability plan.
Baka TAPI can help, no? In, yung
commercializing. So, we very, very much exciting future ventures for these technologies. So, those are the challenges, and the solution for them is to show them that the system works. Yes, definitely. Okay, and then now that we are at the part saying that the technology really works, what is your specific feature that you are most proud of ng Hazard Hunter and Geoanalytics?
Well, for Hazard Hunter, the bread and butter of that talaga is the hazard assessment. So, yeah, its ability to generate multiple hazards assessment is the thing in Hazard Hunter.
Multiple assessment.
Yeah, multiple hazard assessment. Hindi lang kung saan yung gano'ng kakalayo sa fault, pero lahat na, okay, kung 10 meters ka from the fault, ano ngayon? Di ba?
Yeah.
So, what's that for us? What's it for us? Ano ngayon?
May insights na, no?
May insights na kasi. Tapos kasi may recommendations din. So, if you are located, kasi may recommendation, may report yun comprehensive report. So, if you're located in this area or with respect to this fault, then ganito.
Consider this.
Tapos, meron din doon for flooding from MGP and for strong wind and storm surge from Pag-asa.
Okay. Yes. So, napakagandang features, no, ng ating Hazard Hunter
insights.
PH and then the Geoanalytics PH. So these insights are very valuable, and hindi lang siya basta-basta you just generate a report and just read it. Meron din tayong knowledge na makukuha from them to help our lives become more easier. So thank you so much for that, Miss Mabi. Now, let's move on to our third segment, or yung tinatawag naming sa madaling salita. So, sa madaling salita, meron po tayong photos na ibibigay po, ipapakita kay Miss Mabi. And then when we pick up one of those photos, please think of 3 words to describe the subject, or pwede nyo rin naman pong i-expound. Okay, so let's start with the first photo. Okay, so this is the first photo. So I think this is the
hotel in Baguio.
The Baguio earthquake in 1990.
Luzon earthquake.
Luzon earthquake.
The Luzon earthquake. So this is Hyatt Hotel. This is another hotel still upright despite the ground shaking. Ayun. So look at this. So this is a pancake collapse based on engineering lingo. So this is really structural in nature. So the need to stabilize or to apply the structural codes, no, is very important. So kasi makikita mo nakatayo to. Tapos bakit, di ba? What's the discrepancy? It's really because of poor engineering standards. So ano yan, tatlo?
Yung one is a pancake collapse.
Pancake collapse, and then
structural
integrity of the buildings,
and then compliance.
Yeah,
compliance. Okay, so that's Luzon earthquake. Okay, and then next is this one. Okay, for this one. So this is the Pinatubo eruption. So 3 words, ma'am, or
so
if you can expound.
This is pyroclastic density current. And the pyroclastic density currents actually can outrun people, even, because it moves at a very fast speed. Tapos, it contains not just this gas, or it contains big boulders, no? And
It's
gases
just
as
hidden
well,
lang
and
po,
ash,
no?
oo. So, may mga malalaking bato yan. So, the pyroclastic density currents also are the basis, no? For the permanent danger zones around active volcanoes. So, kung saan yung deposits ng mga PDC, ang tawag namin pyroclastic density currents, doon nilalagay yung permanent danger zones. So, yan.
So, pyroclastic density current, and then danger zone, and then
permanent danger zones,
and then,
and the high
One more.
speed of the
pyroclastic
pyroclastic density currents.
Oh, okay.
It's really actually the deadliest hazards.
Even though
volcanic
if
hazards.
you're in a vehicle, no, mahahabol ka kanya talaga, ma'am, no? So,
Yeah.
really
And
scary.
and yun pala yung composition din niya. Ang dami na, more than 3.
Okay. And then, I hope you're familiar with this movie. Okay. The Impossible.
Sorry, hindi.
Okay. So, what happened was that it's in Indonesia ba? Yung tsunami in Indonesia. Tapos siya na lang po yung natirang survivor
Okay.
with him and his sibling. So, maybe share insights, ma'am, on how tsunami affects people, especially sobrang rush niya, di ba? Parang you can only anticipate it. Di pa nga nakaka-capture sa wave, di ba?
Okay, so tsunami is a geologic hazard. It actually occurs when there is a very strong earthquake offshore. So kapag malayo yung source ng tsunami, you can notice yung evidence, pieces of evidence of a tsunami. So, yun yung nagre-recede yung water, diba? Nakikita mo na yung mga fish or kung ano pang mga undersea. And then, that's the time when you see that sign, you need to go to a higher place, no? To a refuge. And then, may mga umuugong, nagro-roar down na sound kasi yun yung paparating na ng mga ng tsunami. That's why it's important to utilize tsunami hazard maps, and this actually are also in the Hazard Hunter and the geoanalytics. And those areas where we have updated our tsunami maps, there are heights already. No, merong heights doon na kung 1 to 2 meters, 3 to 4 meters yung inundation. So, it's important to know that and to apply the necessary measures. And also, if you are living along coast, it's really good for you to rehabilitate yung mga mangroves. You need to
mga natural barriers
kasi yun, yung mga mangroves. And in Indonesia, reports say that it saved actually the lives of people dun sa barangay because they act as natural sieves. Alam niyo yung sieves?
Yes, yung pangsala.
Oo, nagsasala siya nung mga debris from offshore.
So we should advocate for more endemic na mga mangroves in the area.
Yeah, I just learned nga na it's not just the mangrove na kahit anong mangrove you can plant, but you need to choose also
yung sa locality na yun. That fits the ecosystem.
Yes, so biodiversity.
Yes. So, nag-input din sa so alright. So thank you so much po, ma'am. No? So that's our madaling salita. Pero madami po kayong insights na nakuha po sa amin. Next naman po is, let's just go back to a few of more questions before we go to our last segment. No? So how is DOST FIVOX shaping the future of Filipino disaster reduction? So how does it shape the future?
By innovating and developing this game-changing applications, siguro, or solutions, no, and we are able to streamline processes and also encourage more innovations. Like the development of the PlanSmart was a testament to that. Na because people saw the ability of the Hazard Hunter and geoanalytics, so they believe that it can also be utilized for other purposes. And so in DOST, we push for, okay, sige, let's stretch pa more, parang ganon.
Yes.
let's itawid na natin ito sa development ng plants mismo. Automate
the evolution, no?
Oo. So yung ganon kasi right now there a lot of organizations wanting to collaborate with DOST PHIVOLCS for that purpose, like banks, for example.
Yes.
No, kasi kailangan nila
Parang we also saw insurance companies.
Insurance companies as well. Because they need to make sure that when they lend money, the person or the institutions borrowing are aware of the hazards and are vigilant enough to put the right mitigating measures against those natural events.
Agree so much. So, we shape the future by evolving our technology.
Evolving and
advancing.
Encouraging also yung collaborations and encouraging other people, other organizations to contribute.
Agree. Collaboration talaga, ma'am, at the core. You shape the future by collaborations.
Yeah.
Okay. Another question, ma'am, is that para naman po sa ating mga aspiring researchers and geologists, what advice can you give to them? For them to pursue or like to shift their perspectives and appreciate geology more?
Pursue your dreams. If you want to take geology as your course, then do it. Earth science is very rich. Hazards assessment is just a part of it. No, yung ginagawa namin sa PHIVOLCS, for example, early warning for hazards like tsunami and earthquakes or volcanic eruptions, just one part of geology. But there are a lot other other career paths for geology. So you can go to the mining, you can go to the petroleum and other, kahit nga itong information systems. Pwede rin kasi sinasabi ko nga sa mga fellow geologists that we're trained, yung discipline namin is holistic in nature. So I think pero we claim it. Sorry. So
don't limit, no? Don't limit.
For example, we see an outcrop.
Yeah.
So a rock, for example. So ang sa field, ang ginagawa namin, we observe that from afar. So everything that we observe from afar, we do that, we jot down, and then down to mag-zoom in na kami, down to the petrographic analysis. So parang ganun yung discipline, ganun yung exercise na pag-train sa amin. So that's why, even in the hazards assessment realm, we are able to do that. So parang sa malayo, so comprehensive, and then very focused.
Very macro.
So, micro and macro. Ganun actually yung ina-apply lang namin. Even in this hazard hunter and geoanalytics thing.
Ang ganda, no? So, so we definitely encourage people to pursue geology kasi there's definitely opportunities as exemplified by Ms. Mabby, and her team as well, no?
And you can, go to other fields easily kasi nga earth science, for example, so you can go to environmental planning, environmental management, so you can shift.
Yes.
Kasi nga, Earth is mas malaki siya.
It's not hard to look for because your career is already the planet you are stepping on. Di ba? Basically, napakalaki ng ating planet and there's a lot of opportunities to it.
So ang bilis maka-adapt ng mga geologists.
And napakadaming industry that it can come to, no? Alright, so for our last segment siguro, Ms. Mabby, para sa ating mga kasiyensya, bago tayo tuluyang mag-wrap up, Ms. Mabby, please help us fill in the blanks, no? So, it is tough being an innovator because it is tough being an innovator because
you go against the norm. I mean, the normal flow. So, you need to really prove that your idea works.
It's really
but
tough.
It's challenging, so it's not tough, it's fun.
Okay, so in connection to that, ma'am, but at the same time, it is also fulfilling to be an innovator because bakit siya fulfilling?
Because you're the first to do it.
Yeah.
And you have all the chance to improve and to educate as well as to see, no, firsthand the fruit of your labor or your ideas.
So being at the first, you're really at the top of your game. Kasi ikaw yung
tapos
ikaw ang nauna doon.
Gawa ka na naman.
Amazing, ma'am. No? And then another blank to fill out is, I am most proud of blank. Right now, I am most proud of blank.
I am most proud of the GRIS PH as a whole, including the platforms developed. But behind that, I'm proud really of the people behind. Those people.
The people you work with.
Yeah, the people I work with who are innovators as well. So it's really a rich environment we have, because we understand each other in terms of the way we think and the creativity also that arises from conversations, even simple conversations.
Doon nanggagaling yung ideas minsan, ma'am, di ba? Usually sa ating lunch table or at our pantry, hey, what if we try this one?
So I'm really proud of the people.
Yes, definitely, ma'am. And then last, fill in the blanks, I feel really validated as a Filipino innovator whenever the tools work, the ideas are made into tangible outputs, and if the inventions actually are utilized. So yun talaga pag may gumagamit nun, and and sustained through policies. Definitely. Thank you so much. And then just one word, ma'am. To continue this pattern, ideate, create, innovate, blank. Ideate, create, innovate, blank.
Commercialize.
Commercialize. That's okay, ma'am. That's okay. Ideate, create, innovate, commercialize. So why is there an emphasis on commercialization, Ms. Ma'am?
Hindi ko alam kung commercialize. Basta I'm thinking of sustainability.
Sustainability.
Or sustain?
Yeah, sustain. Ideate, create, innovate, sustain.
Yeah,
okay. Sustain. So, that's really nice, ma'am. Okay, no? So, for our, basically, ito na po yung pag-wrap up ng ating session, Ms. Mabi, no? We have a final question to get your unapologetic take on anything science, technology, and innovation. So, okay, a call for support. Why should Filipinos support you and DOST PHIVOLCS technology?
It is for them. So, the technologies were developed for them, for their communities as well, to be safe from and resilient to the effects of natural hazards.
Basically, what you're doing, it's for you guys. It's for you guys, no? That's really lovely. Okay, no? So, one more, ma'am, no? So, para madagdagan ng excitement, meron po tayong bowl of questions here. So, para po itong beauty pageant, no? Basically, here is the bowl of pageant patty questions, no? So, the bowl has these iconic questions that you're going to pick and most likely answer. So, go ahead po, ma'am.
Ilan to?
Just one po.
Just one?
Can you read out the question, Ms.
What
Mabi?
is your guilty pleasure?
What is your guilty pleasure? Ano po ba ang guilty pleasure ng isang Ms. Mabi? Go ahead, ma'am.
Pagkain ng tsokolate.
So sweet.
Kasi,
so sweet.
Yeah. Oo. Kasi I need to also regulate eating sweets. Pero yeah, chocolates are really good.
Especially pag nag-work yung platform, ma'am, no? I deserve this chocolate.
or ay, kailangan mag-work.
To motivate you. So, ang guilty pleasures ng inang Ms. Mabi are chocolate. So, thank you so much for that, ma'am, no? So, okay, before we end, maybe plug nyo po muna on how can people reach DOST PHIVOLCS and your bulletins and information essential to your institution.
To reach DOST PHIVOLCS website, just go to phivolcs.dost.gov.ph. And we have a lot of streams also. So one is the GRIS PH for Hazard Hunter PH. If you want hazards assessment right away, then go to hazardhunter.gris.gov.ph. And if you're a local government unit and you want to know the population exposed to a particular hazard, or the square kilometers or meters or the area, no, in your vicinity that's exposed to natural hazards, use geoanalytics, and that's available for free. It's geoanalytics.georis.gov.ph. Presently, currently, all the platforms under the GEORIS PH are for free.
All right. So basically, guys, that's Miss Mavi of DOST Feebox, no? So thank you so much, ma'am, for sa pagpapasinaya niyo po sa amin, sa aming Pasensya Na podcast. Now, to properly close po, may tuturo po kami sa inyo kasi meron po kaming a little bit of gesture na ginagawa sa aming program. So, ang amin po kasing tagline ay, pasensya na, ngunit kami, pasensya na. Pasensya as in apologetic.
Okay.
Pasensya na, pero kami, pasensya na.
Pasensya na.
Okay. That's where we want to take our innovations, ma'am, to the next direction.
So parang
So parang ito, ma'am, meron po kaming arrow po dito. So, pasensya na. Oh, okay. So, saan kami titingin, Miss Gia? Dito na lang sa gitna. Okay, so, Miss Mavi, pasensya na. Pasensya na, ngunit kami, pasensya na.
Pasensya na.
Okay, sige, let's do one take, no?
Okay.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. Pasensya na, pero kami, pasensya na. All right. Thank you so much, Miss Mabi. It's really nice to know you, Miss Mabi, no, for taking this opportunity to meet a expert geologist, of course, from the DOST Feebox. So we want to give you good luck as you go to your event sa Geneva on the 50th IEIG event there sa Geneva. And of course, kasama niyo po kami at ang ating mga viewers, hopefully, with our full support in your endeavors there at Geneva, no? So, stay tuned po sa ating iInvent Facebook page for any updates. And again, I am Josh Puyugaw, ang inyong Comms and Innovation yapping tito next door from Taguig, and this is your unapologetic take on anything science, technology, and innovation. Pasensya na! Salamat! Thank you so much.